my reliable and patient Taurus friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Taurus, the air around you this week is thick with a tension you almost can't name. There's a sense of holding your breath, not quite anxiety, but the feeling that if you let go for even a moment, something important might slip through your fingers. You may notice a subtle wariness, a gentle clinging to what's yours, your time, your resources, your sense of safety. It's not that you're fearful exactly. It's more that you sense a change is coming and you're quietly bracing yourself for it. And perhaps you find yourself moving a bit slower, double-checking plans, wanting to keep things as they are just a little while longer. There's an urge to create comfort and certainty, to be sure of your ground before you take another step. Even amidst ordinary routines, something inside you is quietly gathering, almost as if you're preparing for a test you haven't been told about. Underneath, there's a longing for peace, maybe even a wish that everything could stay as it is, but life rarely offers that kind of stillness for long, and you can feel the undercurrents shifting. There's a soft ache in the chest, a slight tension in the jaw, the way your hands linger over familiar objects. You may not speak about it, but it's there. A quiet negotiation between wanting to hold on and the knowledge that change, sooner or later, will arrive. That unspoken tension is at the heart of your current state, and the 4 of Pentacles appears here not as a judgment, but as a mirror. You might notice your desire to safeguard what you have, your resources, your energy, your emotional boundaries, growing stronger this week. There's a comfort in the familiar, in the routines that ground you. Yet beneath this comfort there's a subtle rigidness. Perhaps you've set down boundaries so firm that even you feel hemmed in by them. Maybe you're replaying old conversations in your mind, making sure you haven't given too much or revealed too much. You could find yourself declining invitations, not out of disinterest but out of a need to conserve. Each decision feels weightier than usual, as if you're counting not just coins but moments of safety and certainty. Sometimes this feeling shows up in small gestures, the way you tidy your space, the careful way you plan your meals or manage your schedule. Other times it's more internal, a reluctance to share your true feelings, a quiet skepticism about change, a hope that if you maintain control, nothing disruptive will happen. There's nothing wrong with wanting continuity. In fact, it's part of what makes you so steady and dependable. But when the urge to hold on becomes too strong, it can begin to close you off from the very flow of life that sustains you. You might notice that your body feels a little more tense, your mind a bit more preoccupied with what-ifs. It's as though you're standing guard at the gates of your own heart, not out of fear, but out of a deep-rooted belief that security must be preserved at all costs. In these moments you may catch yourself wondering if you're missing out on something, or if you're simply protecting yourself from too much too soon. The desire to keep things stable is understandable, but it can also lead to a quiet isolation, a sense of watching the world move on while you remain anchored in place. From this place of holding, the path ahead starts to rumble. The very act of clinging tightly, of trying to keep everything under control, builds a certain pressure beneath the surface. It's not always obvious at first, but over time, the energy that's been locked away begins to seek release. You may feel it as restlessness, or as a vague sense that something is about to give. The routines that once provided comfort may start to feel confining. You might notice small cracks in the structures you depend on, or a sudden shift in plans that you hadn't anticipated. This tension between preservation and change sets the stage for what comes next. And so the Tower steps into your week, not as a threat but as a force of necessary momentum. The Tower is rarely gentle. Its presence is felt in those moments when life rearranges itself, often without your permission. It can look like an unexpected change, a conversation that upends your assumptions, or a realization that what you've been holding onto can't stay the same. There's a raw honesty in this energy. The Tower doesn't ask if you're ready, it simply arrives, shaking loose what can't stand. This might show up as a conflict that brings underlying truths to the surface, or as a disruption to your carefully planned schedule. The pressure you once channeled into keeping things steady now spills outward, demanding that you adapt, respond, and let go. You may feel a mixture of shock and relief, shock at the speed with which things change, relief that something inside you can finally breathe again. There's a friction here, a sense of being pulled in two directions. One part of you wants to rebuild immediately to restore order. Another part is simply stunned, taking in the new landscape. The Tower's momentum is not about destruction for its own sake, but about clearing away what's become stagnant or confining. In the wake of its energy, you might see the outlines of new possibilities, even if they're not yet fully formed. Relationships may shift, habits may break, and the story you tell yourself about what's essential may be rewritten. This is not a comfortable process, but it is an honest one. The pressures that have built up from weeks or months of holding on now find their release, opening space for something different to emerge. You may notice that old defenses feel less necessary, or that your priorities are suddenly sharper, more immediate. In this moment of upheaval, the truth of what matters most comes into focus, often in ways you couldn't have planned. Yet the path forward is not dictated by these events alone. The potential that emerges now depends entirely on how you meet this moment. It's easy to simply react, to rebuild the old structures as quickly as possible, to try and restore what was lost. But something deeper is being asked. The opportunity here lies in your willingness to pause, to breathe, to create a different kind of space for yourself. Only by engaging consciously with this moment does the way ahead become clear. Here, the Four of Swords offers an invitation, not as an escape, but as a gentle exhale. After the rush and upheaval, there's a need for stillness, not the rigid stillness of control, but the restful quiet that allows for healing and integration. This is a space where you can set down your burdens, even if just for a moment, and listen to the quieter wisdom within. Growth in this context is not about immediate action or quick solutions. It's about allowing yourself time to recover, to reflect, and to trust that rest is not the same as giving up. You may find yourself seeking solitude, craving moments of silence, or feeling drawn to simple rituals that soothe your spirit. In this pause, you have the chance to notice what truly needs your attention and what can be gently released. The Four of Swords speaks to the power of conscious rest, the kind that restores your energy and brings clarity to your thoughts. In this space, you begin to realize that letting go of control doesn't mean losing yourself. It means making room for something new to grow. You may sense a softening within, a willingness to forgive yourself for not having all the answers, and a quiet confidence that you can meet what comes next on your own terms. This is not a promise of immediate resolution, but an invitation to honor your own rhythms, to trust the wisdom of your body and heart, and to allow the dust to settle before you decide what to build next. As the week unfolds, the story of these three cards weaves itself into your days. The urge to hold tight, born from a deep desire for safety, meets the unstoppable force of change. What once felt secure may be shaken, but in the shaking you discover what truly matters. The Tower strips away illusions and brings you face to face with the essential. And when the dust settles, the Four of Swords offers a sanctuary, a place to rest, to gather your strength, and to find peace within the aftermath. The journey from holding on to letting go is not a straight line. It is full of moments of doubt, flashes of clarity, and unexpected gifts. You may notice yourself softening, becoming more gentle with your own needs, and discovering that what survives the storm is often stronger, more authentic, and more deeply rooted. Through it all, you are not alone. The tension you feel is shared by many, and the path through upheaval is one that leads in time to a quieter, more grounded sense of self. Trust that your instincts to protect and preserve are not weaknesses, but starting points for deeper growth. The week may bring challenges, but it also brings opportunities for rest, for reflection, and for gentle renewal. In the end, you may find that what you feared losing was not as essential as you once believed, and in its place, a new sense of calm and clarity begins to take root, steady as your own heartbeat. Actionable insights for Taurus this week. Let yourself linger in a quiet moment, noticing how your body feels when you stop trying to manage everything. Try saying no to just one small thing that drains your energy, and see what space opens up in its place. Allow your routine to shift slightly, even if only for a day, watching how you respond to a gentle change. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I honor the ground beneath my feet. I can meet change without losing myself. My breath is enough to steady me now. What matters most remains within me. I trust my own pace, and I am ready. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.